Welcome to another episode of the Slice Tennis Podcast, hosted by my guy to my left, Stephen Boughton, and myself, JP Hovey. We are glad that you are here. Also, shout out to our presenting sponsor, Betway, for allowing us to be here and allowing us to do amazing things in the tennis world, like go to some of these tournaments, get to talk about this every week because of our partners at Betway. And this week, there was some big motion in the tennis world right now. Unfortunately, we will do our Eala hour, but there was a little bit of delays in it. So what's delayed is not denied. But we will get into Alex. We will talk about Carlos Alcaraz winning Monte Carlo. And of course, the Masters happened. People love to group golf and tennis together. So we're going to get into who we think the Rory McIlroy of tennis is. Drop who you think the Rory McIlroy of tennis is in the comments right now. We're going to compare the prize money between the Masters and what we see is the most relatable, most comparable in the tennis world, which is Wimbledon. We're going to compare the prize levels. And then, of course, everyone's favorite segment, we're going to go through the YouTube comments from the last week. So if you want to be featured in the Slice Tennis Podcast, leave a comment and we promise to shout you out. So before we get into all of that, Steven, I got to hear about the week.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm still recovering from the Masters Sunday finale with Rory McIlroy winning his first Masters. Obviously, this is a tennis podcast, but like you said, they like to be grouped. And I love golf. And I love playing golf. I love watching golf. And if you love sports, though, you got to be just wrapped up into what happened yesterday. I feel like with Rory McIlroy winning in just insane fashion, just like one of the craziest rounds of golf ever played, maybe.
Yeah.
Especially like to win, especially in the final round, like, and with all the historical context. So there's so many parallels to tennis, which I'm excited to get into. Who is the Rory McIlroy of tennis and who is the Justin Rose of tennis, and et cetera, make these connections because there's a lot. But yeah, so I spent the week checking in on that. I actually had a crazy week last week, though, in general, like in a bad way. I got in a mini car accident with my truck. Totally fine. This lady just like bumped into me, and I was trying to like, I swung to like back into my driveway, and as I swung left, she thought I was like pulling over, so she went by me, and I was like, she just like ran into the side
right outside of your house.
Yeah, like on a side. It's a side slow street, but this older lady was
close to being home.
She was on a route to get somewhere. I was like, this is not my fault. But Ford Ranger, American product, metal truck. Hers was Toyota plastic car. Her paint essentially went onto my truck, so I just rubbed. Nothing happened to my truck, and her car got a bit damaged, but she didn't want to claim it or anything. And it was her fault, anyways. I would say so. There's that, and then my wife actually we had a box on top of our car. She went out for dinner and forgot that was on and went into a parking garage and scraped the top of it. But so that's fine. The worst part was for her is she had to take it off the top once she was inside and put it in the car. And that was just like a whole thing. And then later that night, we had a minor flood because of our dishwasher again. It like came out the front, and I only found out because I could hear it dripping in the basement through the floor. So
it went all the way through the floor.
Yeah, it's actually happened before. So it's an old house and it can dry out pretty well. So we've sorted it out, I think. But
the Bountons might be moving soon.
That was all in like 12 hours. That was all in like an afternoon and an evening. So that was just, we were up against it. You know, we were praying away the demons. It was crazy.
That is definitely one of those weekends or one of those just stints that you and Nicole will talk about for the rest of your life.
For sure. And in the middle of that, I played 9 holes of golf. I said, Masters week, I got to keep it tight. And I somehow was actually in a pretty good headspace. And then she called me on the golf course to tell me about the box, and that didn't help. And I had put one out of bounds. I literally hooked the drive out of bounds, and I was like, and I just triple bogeyed the par 5 before that. So it's just like ring, ring. And then she's like, I was like, oh my gosh. So anyways, the Rory winning made everything better. We've got great weather ahead of us this week in Victoria. So
yes,
things are looking good. So great. It's always a good week when we finish the week alive and healthy and together.
Yep.
So that's me, JP. What about your week? How was your week?
I love that. Not as eventful as that. We were in Oregon last week, which was a lot of fun. They have a great football team out there. So we were in the locker room with all the guys. We went to their practice, and it will forever just amaze me how big and strong that these kids are. And even, we go to Miami Open, we see the tennis players. There are obviously some freak athletes out there, but nobody on the tennis tour is touching even a college football player and how they're built. Like these kids are 18 years old. And I look at them and I'm like, there's no way that we're even the same species. Like we're both not humans. You're something else.
For sure.
It is always a nice little just reality check when you get around the D1 athletes, because it is different. And to see all the different facilities these kids have is pretty incredible. Always fun being in the Pacific Northwest. It was great weather out there right now. It was.
You were pretty close to me, actually.
I know, man. I looked it up on the map too. I'm like, if I just snuck over the border real quick, I'll be. And then this week I'm going to Michigan, and we're flying into Detroit. Not a horrible drive to Toronto.
No, that's pretty close. Yeah. Like Detroit's right on the border. So
yeah,
you might accidentally fly into Canada.
I know. I got to bring my passport. But yeah, other than that, it's just been a busy week. So it's good. We just got to grind through April, and it's fun, man. It's always fun. It's always a good week when Alcaraz is winning, because you're guaranteed to get some nice little content on your Twitter feeds and everything. So, but before we get into all of that, we do need to hit our best bet of the day, presented by Betway. And you hit an ace with Betway and get up to $200 if your first bet loses, plus 50 bonus spins no matter the result. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section below. Create an account and redeem your offer. Offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply, and this offer is not available in Ontario, and you must be 18 and up. Please play responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
Steven's been responsibly on some streaks, responsibly hedging some bets as he sees things happening in the tennis world, even other sports. Remember, Betway, even if you don't watch tennis, you can still use Betway to go bet on these other sports responsibly, of course. But
it'd be wild if people who don't watch tennis are watching this, which I know there are because my mom watches. So actually, she watches a lot of tennis. What am I talking about? Shout out, Mom. Yeah, best bet of the day. I was looking at, so we got current tournaments. There's a few WTAs. There's the big one is Stuttgart, WTA 1500, and then there's the ATP 500s in Barcelona and Munich. All great cities there. What I'm looking at is Wednesday, Alexander Zverev. We got an all-German matchup in Germany. Alexander Zverev versus Daniel Altmaier. Zverev's the favorite, big favorite. They got him at -600 to win the match, but I don't know if you guys have been following the tour at all. Nothing goes to plan with Zverev currently, and Daniel Altmaier is like good. He's ranked 86 in the world, but he's good. He's an athlete, and Zverev chokes at home typically. So I got Zverev to win. I like him at win in 3 sets. So win 2-1 sets. They have him at +310. I feel like that's pretty dynamite. That's what I picked last week or in the final for Alcaraz to win. I said Alcaraz is going to win, but it's going to be wild, and it was. So that hit. That was nice. +310 for Zverev to win in 3. I think that's some value there.
I love that, man. You sound dialed. When I'm listening to you break it down, I'm thinking I'm going to ride with this guy responsibly.
Word. No messing around. Just finding value.
Let's go. That's the best bet of the day, presented by Betway. You kind of hit on the tournaments that are happening this week. Which ones do you want to touch on?
Well, what I do want to touch on is first the Eala Hour.
True.
So we got the Alex Eala Hour, second week ever of doing it, and she's back in action. She's currently in action, you could say. Even though it's the middle of the night in Portugal where she is, her match was suspended in Oeiras. She is up 6-3, 2-4. So she's down and break in the second set, but it's got suspended either due to rain. I'm not exactly sure why. But at the time of recording, it's suspended. So by the time this comes out, the match will have already been over. But I did see some of the highlights of her playing. She looked like she was confident. The stats that she's at are 75% first serve in, winning 53% of those compared to 47% of the opponent. So big returners both sides. And she has broken. They've both broken like a ton. It's insane. I don't know. They've both broken each other 5 times. So that's clay tennis for you, especially on the WTA. But she's grinding. She's going for the win. So she's the number 1 seed at the WTA 125 in Oeiras, Portugal. So that's an update on our girl Alex Eala for those of you who are here just for her. We
And
showed you out.
important to note, she's also playing doubles with, not sure if I'm going to say her last name right. She is an American, but Katie Volinets.
Hey, yes. Anastasia from the Ground Pass. I think she beat Volinets in the Miami Open first round.
Oh, I think you might be right.
So that's interesting. Obviously no love lost there. Alex Eala, Katie Volinets pairing up for doubles. We'll love to see it.
Smart move by Katie.
Definitely a smart move by Katie. If something happens, some highlights happen, she'll just get
Right.
love from the Filipino fans just for pairing up. So that's called business. That's a business move right there. And we
Yes,
respect
sir.
that.
And it looks like in the Munich Open, I saw the Dennis and Felix. Did they post together from there?
Yeah, they're both in. So yeah, sweet. So anyways, that's all we got for Alex Eala. We'll see how she goes on the next episode. But yeah, in Munich, we've got the ATP 500, and you're right, Dennis and Felix are there. So I like that, JP. On the show breaking down Monte Carlo, I said most of the top end talent in these 2 weeks goes to Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the move going to Munich to try and get maybe some easier matches. And both Canadians went there.
Let's go. It looks like Chapeau's playing Monfils first round.
Chapeau playing Monfils. I was like, dang, I don't think that's a match you would love if you're either one, to be honest. But yeah, especially if you're Dennis, you're like, you want to get through the first round. You want it to just be business. And there's like no one that's more the opposite of that than Gael Monfils.
Hey, if you were to pick any of these 3 tournaments going on to be playing in, which tournament would you have chosen?
To be playing in, like, I mean, I like Barcelona. To me, I think of the sun. I think of that venue. I've looked it up. It looks pretty awesome. Close to the water there. So I'm a sucker for the ocean, for the hot ocean. I'm a Canadian boy, obviously. So, we grew up in the snow and in the misery.
Right.
And then mountains. I'd be in Barcelona. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. We actually just started getting some direct flights from Nashville to Germany. Fun fact. But Germany has never stood out to me as a place that I'm dying to visit, whereas Spain 100% is. And I feel like just at the face value of winning tournaments, it sounds a whole lot cooler to say you won Barcelona than Munich.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Barcelona has a lot more gravitas to the tournament. But yeah, that's why I like the move from Felix and Dennis to go to Munich. It's a little bit under the radar. You don't have to prove anything. Same amount of points on display for both sides. I bet you there's more money in Barcelona. But yeah, Felix and Dennis, they did link up and they posted some photos. I was actually going to wonder, and we should ask them next time they're on our show, just like, if they're in the same city, are they like, how much are they hanging out?
Right.
Or is it just like they're with their teams? Obviously, they're going to see each other at the venue, but are they having dinner? Every time?
I would love to know the different crews on tour because, obviously country guys or countrymen seem to hang out with each other probably, but there's got to be a few little cliques out there of like a hodgepodge of people.
Oh, for sure. And you, there's like rumors and stuff about like my wife who pays attention to the girlfriend, the tennis girlfriends. She's like notices, and I'm like, she notices, for example, rumor mill here, that Morgs, Taylor Fritz's girlfriend, and Tommy Paul's girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting her name.
Paige
Lorenz. They're like never in photos together.
And you think they would either be best friends or they might be dire enemies.
Yeah. So it seems more like the latter potentially, but I don't want to start anything, but maybe there's not. But then they're all like, even like Francis Tiafoe's girlfriend, like they're all trying to build their own business. So now they're competitors, really,
right?
Which is kind of weird. I think to compare it to something like Connor McDavid, best NHL player, his girlfriend, like we're going into the playoffs times now. And so now I'm starting to get nervous about that. And the Oilers are not in a super confident spot right now. And even though they made it to Game 7 last year, Connor McDavid's girlfriend, I follow her on Instagram, and she's always like, she's like doing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is wrong of me, but I'm like, I don't want anything stressing Connor out at all, like in his life right now. food should be brought not from her, but like just everything should be sorted in life. So like she's like posting about her new business. She's like doing
Right.
this, doing that, posting up photos of like, to me, photos. So I'm like thinking in my own head, if my wife was like doing this business, the stress, if I'm doing a business, the stress wears off on Nicole.
Right.
Either way. So I'm like, playoff time for McDavid. There just needs to be nothing else happening in the house. And it doesn't seem to be that way. And it makes me nervous.
Are you familiar with Paul Skeens, the pitcher?
Yes. I watched an interview with him and his girlfriend, Livy Doon.
And I think he's a great example of somebody that will never be fazed by anything that his significant other is doing.
Right.
And I would like to think McDavid sort of has a similar vibe to him, to where it's like, okay, like, yeah, do whatever you want, because and I know that hockey comes first right now.
Yeah, and I bet you that's true. Like, I don't think he's checking Instagram or really cares. Like,
Yeah.
but like if she's like, oh, that's my like if
Right,
if
right,
they're
right.
up at night at 10 p.m., she's like, my business, like something went wrong, or like this went wrong, or like,
Yeah.
and he gets like 5 minutes less sleep because that I'm like, you
Right.
can't have that.
That's
That's
fair.
where it's like beyond that's a real relationship. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
anyways, that's these guys, Fritz, TFO, Tommy, they're loving life. They're not really in that position that Connor McDavid's in. But I bet you they kind of are. At the US Open, it's like they have all these
Right.
commitments, and now all their girlfriends do as well. So they're like, I'm like, why don't you guys just get separate hotels? That's what just my free advice, just get separate hotels for that week.
I know. I'm with you, dude.
Don't even talk.
In the women's side, we have Stuttgart.
Yes.
We haven't touched on it yet, right?
Nope.
Yeah,
that's a great tournament. I think I said last time that's an indoor clay tournament. Only one I'm aware of in the world. Indoor clay.
Interesting. Looks like Andreeva's sister lost in the qualifiers.
Okay, word. Yeah, that draw is stacked. I haven't actually looked at it, but it always has like the entire top 10, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, it looks good right now. It's definitely is stacked, and it looks like a lot of the top 10 is there. Pagula, Goff, Swiatek,
Sabalenka, yeah.
Andreeva, yeah, they're all
that
there.
is a gangster tournament. Like Mira Andreeva is the 6th seed. I got the wow, they got a lot of Germans in there. I think German tennis is doing well, but yeah, that's an awesome tournament. I was there 2022 with a credential, and they got this Porsche arena, so you can go watch the tennis indoor, and they've got it all sorted out. It's like the arena is in conjunction with the Porsche Museum, because Porsche is based in Stuttgart, Germany. If you didn't know, I believe it actually says Stuttgart on the Porsche logo if you look close enough. And anyways, yeah, Germany's. I know what you mean about not wanting to visit it. Like, it's not like it was never like super high on my list,
right?
But it has cool, like, once you're there, like the cities all have such crazy history, and they're like there's great culture there,
right? Yeah, I mean, definitely it's on the list. It's just not in my top 5.
No, for sure. And as far as like beauty, like there's not like natural beauty is not that crazy at all. Like, you should go to, if you want to get a German flavor but more beautiful, just go to Germany. Go to Switzerland or Austria. They're both essentially German and have awesome mountains.
Say less. That's where I'm headed. The other place I would definitely want to go to is Monte Carlo, Monaco.
Mm-hmm.
I would need to be there, and I would need to be there when Carlos Alcaraz is playing tennis like he was this past week. We can go ahead and get into that. And before we do, though, I got to read off the little list of Carlos's up-to-date trophies that he has won. Right now, he's got 4 majors, 6 Masters 1000, 6 ATP 500s, 2 ATP 250s, and 1 year-end number 1, all before the age of 22. So shout out Carlos Alcaraz. I believe his birthday is in June. So I don't know the exact date, but it would be kind of hype for him if he was able to get that French Open before he turns 22.
Looks like I actually had to look it up because I can't believe that he's still 21 for some reason. His birthday is May 5th.
So May 5th. Dang, I don't know why I was thinking June something.
But dude, you're right. Like 21 years old and having all that, and people are still worried about him. They were worried before he won Monte Carlo. They were like, he's fading, he's falling off.
Right.
He's 21. He's still growing. He could technically be getting taller as we're talking. Like, imagine he gets another couple inches.
Dude, I know it. And I saw the thing. It was he's got the second most Masters 1000s before the age of 22.
Yeah.
And Nadal, so let's see, Alcaraz has 6. I think it was Nadal has like 11 or like 14, something like that. And it was the fact that he has 6 more Masters 1000s. The fact that he had over 11 Masters 1000s before he was 22 is crazy.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a sicko. Yeah, just an absolute sicko. But yeah, everything that Alcaraz does is in that like greatest of all time grouping of
Right.
players. And so that's where I still have him. Like, and I was talking on the last podcast, we said, JP, who are your picks? Like, who's going to have the craziest clay swings? I said Alcaraz. What is one of mine? I think it was one of yours as well.
Yeah, I left him off just because he was on yours, but
Fair enough.
I shared the same sentiment.
For sure. And what I was saying in the reaction video was I had Tsitsipas and Djokovic. Djokovic looks like a bad pick right now, but he might sort it out. I was like, I would have loved to have Musetti on there.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, that was a miss. And did you have Musetti on yours?
I did not, but
Also a miss.
it was a miss. It was a miss. I had Runa on mine. Obviously, that didn't go too well.
Yeah, but Musetti did so well in Monte Carlo, and it's not even remotely surprising. Like, he on the natural surfaces is so natural. It's on the grass, on the clay. He just knows how to move the ball more than a lot of the modern players, right? And it's not just because he has a one-headed backhand. He's solid with that one-handed backhand, but he just knows how to use the angles of a tennis court like not a lot of people do.
Right.
And yeah, he's going to be a problem on clay. Every part of his game seems to be getting stronger. That was maybe lacking before. Serves better. The serve return was great. He kind of was pushing Alcaraz around for a lot of the match with that. So yeah, Musetti on the natural surface is just chef's kiss.
Because his run to the final was tough too. It's like he never had an easy matchup, really.
What was it?
He beat what is this? It's the Yubu.
Yeah.
Yubu, Lehechka, Berrettini, Tsitsipas, De Minaur, and then he played Alcaraz. And De Minaur was looking unstoppable. I think you tweeted it like he may never lose another set on clay again.
He may never lose another game because he double bageled Dimitrov. And then he bageled Musetti. No, he's up 3-0, I think, against Musetti in the first set. I was like, this guy literally hasn't lost a game in 3 sets. A professional.
Yeah, that's. Oh wait, I think I.
So you're right. That run from Musetti he went right through like some of the best players. Like he went through Tsitsipas and then he beat De Minaur. So yeah, shout out to De Minaur too, because that's huge. He's playing great tennis. And his I saw his Instagram post after he said something like, another good tournament for me. I think the breakthrough's coming, kind of something like that. You could tell he was like, damn, I think I'm playing good enough to like win some of these tournaments. And it just really hasn't happened yet. And I agree, because he was like getting through that court, which is like the slowest clay court, Monte Carlo. He was aggressively hitting through that court with power from both wings. And I was super impressed by that. So I think it is coming for Alex de Minaur. And yeah,
it's going to be fun, man. If all of these guys, if Musetti, De Minaur, Alcaraz, Sinner, when he comes back, if they're all playing at this high level, it's a lot of good clay court tennis. And I know on our sheet we have clay domination inbound ? From Alcaraz. Like we were talking about last week, you got to believe he's rampant. Obviously, he loves clay, but you got to believe he's ramping it up for the return of Sinner.
Yeah, somebody posted, I think, in the YouTube comments, and I don't have it in front of me at all, but someone said that his clay record over the last 4 years is like 90% win rate of matches. So it is his best surface. People forget that. And yeah, he was like born like Bane from Batman. I was born in the dark. He was like born in the clay. Like him, Musetti, born in the clay. They're like, it's like their natural habitat. And I think Alcaraz, I could just see him not losing a match on clay this year.
Right, dude.
I mean, done. Like I think Djokovic lost his first match on clay in 2011 at the French Open.
That's crazy.
Excuse me. That was a gross understatement. He lost his first match of the year at the French Open in 2011. Did you know that?
No, I mean, I've probably seen it just, in my scrolling, but definitely not off the top of my head.
I'm pretty sure he won the Australian Open, Indian Wells, Miami. Maybe he skipped Monte Carlo or maybe not. And he won each tournament he played on clay until the French Open. crazy best start to the year ever. Lost to Federer in the semifinals of the French Open.
Man, hey.
I didn't pick. I just want you to know I didn't pick out that stat. That's just that's just that's just the natural ending to the story. I didn't want to highlight that or anything. Not trying to highlight that right now.
Right. You're like greatest run in tennis ever, but
ended by Federer going like this as he walked to the net. That's why there's so much hate between the fan bases, and I respect that.
Speaking of Federer, did you see that he said he wants to get back out there and start training 2 to 3 times a week? He wants to start doing exhibitions.
We're gonna have to clip that because yeah, I did see that, and I was like, that had me going like this. You know that meme where the guy's just like,
yeah,
that was me when I saw that, because you're like, he was not wanting to do that when he retired, and I think he's essentially not touched a racket since he retired, but he wants to be playing exhibitions and stuff, and like, you know what, these guys in the back of their head, it's like he's going to get out playing exhibitions and he's going to start hitting balls and feeling really good, and then maybe he'll just have some intrusive thoughts like, should I?
Well, I think those intrusive thoughts are coming from what he's observing on the tour, because he's seeing the same thing we're all seeing. A bunch of different people winning each and every week, people that he probably feels that he's better than. And just the competitor in him sits back and says, man, I bet I could win one more if the draw was right. And who am I to doubt him?
I'm not doubting him. Like, his knee is cooked though. Like, it was like, if he could have a new knee, like, yes, he would be beating the vast majority of players on tour currently. But it'd just be awesome to see him play like at a decent, because in these exhibitions you can still play. But he just, like, by the time like Laver Cup came around when he retired, he couldn't like walk on the court. Essentially. Right. It was crazy.
I wonder if there's a world. I mean, the retirement ended, I think, as good as it could have with him and Nadal.
Yeah.
But a world where they get a wild card into a Grand Slam and play doubles with each other to truly end it all.
I mean, or to like boost the doubles at like an event that would go so crazy. I personally actually hope he doesn't. I don't think he would, but I hope he actually does not come back at all. Because like, you gotta like that. He rode that ship for as long as he could like, and it was a good ending. But it still wasn't that great of an ending. Like he was trying to keep going, and his knee just he just didn't have a knee to play with at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We got the Eala hour. Maybe we'll have to keep the Roger minute on watch or something.
Right, just the Fed watch. We know he's a Rolex guy.
Yeah, I love that. Fed watch sponsored by Rolex. Shout out.
Right. Thank you, Rolex, for joining this episode of The Slice. We appreciate you guys.
We thank you for the new dates that we just got.
Yeah, you see right here, tracks my steps and everything.
Yeah. That's a great call out. The Fed. I did see that, JP. I did see that.
The last thing on the Federer thing, what is the amount of money you would pay to go watch him in exhibition? What's your top?
Yeah, somewhere between 500 and 500 and like 1,500, somewhere in there. Like, that's just for the ticket to like,
right.
I would have, but yeah,
I love it.
What about you?
I think I would probably top out. It depends who he's playing against.
Right. Where it is.
It depends the format of it all. Like, I don't want to get gypped by any means. Like, Fed, you say you're going out to play exhibitions. I want to see some effort. I want to see you sweating. Yeah. I want to see some competitiveness to you.
Exhibitions are tricky, because it's like tennis. It's so hard to like fake it.
Yeah, or just make sure it's as entertaining as possible.
Yeah,
I probably would be at that same. Your ceiling is higher than mine. I would be at like a 500. Honestly, a 500 might be my max on him.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. You can might not be able to afford some of the events because they like to. That's why I don't like that Federer's so corporate in a way. Like, but I also I'm just like respect it in a way as well. But
yeah,
I mean, what are you
speaking of an all-time great in Federer? Somebody else has transcended into the all-time great category in golf, and that is Rory McIlroy. And the question we have for the viewers, the question we have for each other is, who is the Rory McIlroy of tennis? Which is a good question. I'm honestly still kind of thinking through it.
Does that mean you want me to go first?
I would love for you to go first.
So I was thinking about this, and what is Rory McIlroy kind of mean now? So Rory McIlroy won 4 majors when he was early 20s and was dubbed as like the next Tiger Woods, could
Yep.
potentially break his records, and then went through this crazy drought from 2014 till 2025 where he didn't win a major. But he was always close. He was number 1 in the world a bunch of times. And he just like had the tendency to like get close and not be able to go over the line or choke in some ways, especially recently. It was crazy. So I'm trying to think of like the best comparable person in tennis. And
Right.
I would say in my head, there's no like great comparisons because it's so specific. You're like all-time great talent, won a bunch early, and then just stopped winning.
Right.
That's not really a direct comparison. What I would say is like who has all-time great talent and had a big drought through their career that was painful for their fans. And then when that drought ended, it was like euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be Roger Federer.
Whoa. See, oh man, that's tough for my brain to connect the dots on.
Did you see that coming? So
did not see that coming.
Federer won 16 majors up until I believe the 2011 Australian Open or 2010 Australian Open. Then he like spent a year not winning a major, which for the Fed fans was like mind blowing because he won like 2 or 3 every year. But before that,
right.
Then he won the 2012 Wimbledon, and then drought, and he was like 30. He was like 28 or 29, so still pretty primo in his career. But then Djokovic came on so hardcore in 2011.
Right.
And Nadal was so hardcore, and they were both 5 years younger than him. So they were so he couldn't, and he made multiple finals after 2012. Couldn't get it done. He was in the final of Wimbledon 2014, Wimbledon 2015, Australian Open 2015, I want to say, and I think maybe even US Open 2015. I think he was in 3, and they lost them all to Djokovic.
Right.
And so people are like, is he ever going to win another one? He's got the level. The only person he's not beating is Djokovic, and he was actually still beating him just at like the Masters. Like he won in I think 2015 was one of Djokovic's best years, and he lost like 6 matches, and 3 of them were to Federer in finals or something like that. So he only lost. Those are the only 3 finals he lost, kind of thing. 2016, his knee goes down. He like gets like a knee, like he has knee surgery, I think, or some operation. And it's like, oh my gosh, is he going to retire soon?
Right.
And then he comes out at 2017 Australian Open, ranking way down, had to go through like the toughest route possible, 4 top 10 players, including Rafa Nadal, arch nemesis, along with Djokovic in the final. And he went down in the final. He went down a break in the 5th set, just like Rory did, choking. Even in the final round, Rory was choking at the Masters, and then legendary status, found a way to turn it around and did it. And Federer got the win against Nadal in the Australian Open final to break the streak. It was only 5 years, but that's as close as I can think. Because I was thinking in my head, I don't want to get your picks. I was thinking Andy Murray, he's British. That's pretty close. And if
he's on my mind.
If that's your pick, I respect it. I want to hear your reasons why. But I was like, Andy Murray didn't have like the beginning of his career where he was like all-time level of talent.
Right.
He was there though forever. Like, so this is a great comparison actually, and I'm not going to steal your spotlight, but he was there forever and then finally got it done. So that's a great one. Or I was thinking like maybe like others like Stan Wawrinka or someone like that, but I don't know.
He was my second guy that I was thinking on.
What is who in your mind is the Andy or is the Rory McIlroy of tennis?
I think because I truly was between Murray and Wawrinka, and I think I'm going with Murray.
Yeah.
For the reason of what that Wimbledon title meant to him, like what his last major meant to him. And I just feel so many similarities in the moment when Rory makes the putt and knows he won, and Murray falling to his knees when he knows he finally won. He got the monkey off of an entire country's back. And it's just the biggest sigh of relief of all time from both of them. They both know they're capable of being the best. Rory had to deal with Tiger. He had to deal with Spieth doing his thing for that little bit. Now he's dealing with Scheffler. And it's just like he's always dealing with this next guy up.
You're right.
And I feel like that was Murray. So I'm going to go with Andy Murray.
Yeah, I love it. When he beat, it was 2013 Wimbledon. Wasn't his first major, but it was his first. And true, Rory McIlroy, this wasn't his first major. This was his first Masters.
Yeah.
And yeah, both from Great Britain.
Right.
Yeah, I
Well,
think that's
McIlroy, Irish.
yeah. Well, I think they're all and technically
Right.
and Andy Murray's Scottish.
Yeah, yeah.
So like they're definitely not English. Don't call them English, but I think you can kind of call them all Great Britain.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who
I think maybe
cares?
like
We make the rules.
it's weird. It is weird. Like I think Northern Ireland, I could be totally wrong on this. Someone correct me. I think Northern Ireland is technically part of Great Britain, and then like Ireland is not, or something like that, or reverse. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's yeah. No, Andy Murray is the one. I honestly didn't even really like, but yeah,
Because
he
I
had the
almost feel like Tiger Woods and Federer are so similar, with Tiger winning the Masters in 2019. Just how, I guess it was 2019 when Federer won his last one.
Are you trying to hurt me or something like this?
Oh
2019.
yeah, I guess I am.
2019. No, Federer did not win his last
That's
one.
right.
It would have been great if there was actually another similarity to Rory. This one is the sad one, but they had like on Rory's 18th hole putt. It was like on the ticker. Did you see this?
Yeah.
It was like for career Grand Slam, and he misses it. And then I saw Bastian Fatchan from Twitter comparing, I think instantly he put this out. It was like that picture and then the picture of the fan going like this, one more point for Federer. I was like,
Pain.
final. It was just pain. And I was like triggering. We never got redemption for that. Rory got redemption for that like 20 minutes later.
Yeah, the dude, that was gritty. A question in that, the clutchness of that putt. We were talking about it today at work, but in sports, it could be argued that putt that he missed would be the most pressure-filled moment in sports, across all sports.
Yeah.
To win it at the Masters, like a 6-foot putt. Do you think there's something harder or more, or has more pressure in any other sport? The obvious one for us was football. Like, I think a field goal, say like if you want to compare a 6-foot putt maybe to like a 40-yard field goal in the Super Bowl, I think the kicker might feel that same pressure.
Oh, for sure. I think that's a good one because there's not too many other sports where it's like
one on.
Yeah, and
on
like
you.
honestly, the kicker might even be like, depends on what the score is, but if you say they're down by like 2 points and there's
Right.
no time left or whatever, so it's like you make this, you win, you miss it, you lose.
Right.
So that putt for McIlroy, the good thing is if he missed it, which probably actually made him miss it, to be honest. Like if he missed it, he wasn't out. He just didn't win right then. And then
Right.
it was actually the same for the next one. I was gonna say the only putt crazier than that 6-foot one, because it's not like a guaranteed make it all. 6-foot putt is like not a guarantee, but like the next one was like 3 feet, and that was like you have to make that, and if you don't make that, it's a huge choke.
It's over.
Well, and it's even a way worse thing. Then you're like doing another round, and you're like, oh my gosh. So those moments, I seriously just don't get how these guys function. Like I'd be like walking up to the putt, like just like tweaking out, like. But that's why they're up there and we're not.
It's why they're up there. On the flip side, for every winner, there is a loser.
That's right.
Justin Rose. This is his third time finishing runner-up in the Masters?
Yeah, definitely second.
Yeah.
It was not too many years ago that he finished runner-up, and I believe also in a playoff.
Yes, it was. Both times are in a playoff.
Doesn't have the clutch, maybe. So yeah, that was a good question. We were gonna say, who is the Justin Rose of tennis? I would love to hear your thought first.
And real quick, just my golf knowledge is not super up to date. Has he ever won a major?
Yes, this is a big part in your pick. He has won one major. He won the U.S. Open, which is interesting, in 2012 or 14, I believe.
Got you.
So ways back.
So initially, I think I might still ride with it, even though he has won one, so that makes it tough. But Zverev, where he gets there and just doesn't get it done. The other name I was thinking of was maybe Berrettini, but
okay,
I think I'm gonna stick with Zverev, and because right now they're kind of currently in the exact same boat in their career, where it's like, oh man, you just truly can't finish it off.
Yeah, I think an even closer one is Marin Cilic.
You're so right.
Because Marin Cilic won the U.S. Open, and it was around the same time, and that's been his only major. But he's almost had like a pretty similar career arc. Like, and he was close. He was in the final of the 2017 Wimbledon. Federer lost to Wimbledon, or lost to Federer at Wimbledon, and he had like crazy nerves. Like he had a blister. He had blisters, and then he was in the final of the 2018 Australian Open against Federer again, and lost. And I think he was like maybe in the final of a Wimbledon that was Kevin Anderson versus Djokovic. But you know what I mean? He's also been in the final. He's been right there, and he's trying to get that second one, and he probably never will now. But I think that's as close as it gets from me.
I like that one. Yeah. Great choice.
Marin Cilic or Sasha Zverev. I think Sasha Zverev will get a major, so I think that's going to end up being a really close pick.
Right. He has to. And kind of segueing into our next topic.
Yeah.
Even though Justin Rose lost, he still won a good chunk of money, $2.2 million to be exact.
Sheesh.
So what I wanted to do for the people, since we all love pocket watching out here, and we all love to talk about prize money in tennis for sure, especially right now with all the things going on with the PTPA and such. So I'm going to give you how much. We're going to go with 12 people. So the top 12 at the Masters. Now, two people tied for 12th, but the winner, Rory McIlroy. I'm going to compare this to Wimbledon because they're the most similar in our eyes. So Rory McIlroy, for winning the Masters this year, he won $4.2 million. Now,
US dollars.
The winner of what's that?
We're doing both in US dollars.
Yeah, both of these in US dollars. So Rory McIlroy, $4.2 million. Last year's Wimbledon winner, $3.4 million. Justin Rose, second place, runner-up, $2.2 million. The Wimbledon runner-up, $1.7 million. Patrick Reed, third place, $1.4 million. If you're a semifinalist at Wimbledon, you won $907,000 last year.
Right. And there's two
Fourth
of those.
place, Scotty Scheffler, $1 million. Again, semifinal guy, $900,000.
Yeah.
And then Sung Jae-im, fifth place. He was tied for fifth. They won $798,000, and this is where it starts to drop off. Your quarterfinalists, they get $476,000 in tennis. Then you get to seventh and eighth in the Masters. They win a respectable $703,000 and $588,000 because there was four people tied for eighth. In your fourth round, $286K. And then the tied for 12th, there was two people tied for 12th, Harris English and Max Homa. They both walked home with $462,000, where we'll call it the third round, they walked with $181,000. And then one last one for you. If you just made the tournament, so for the Masters, if you just made the cut, you get $49,000. And in Wimbledon, this is good news. If you're in round one, you get $76,000.
Yeah. So the top end is like you're making more money at the top of golf than tennis.
Right. Yeah. Especially those first four, like the top five in a golf tournament are making more than the top five of a tennis tournament.
Yeah, and they're like very comparable, right? Like you're an independent contractor, I believe, in golf as well. And you got all your expenses, you pay for your team, you pay for the accommodation, you pay for everything. Obviously, the top guys on both sides got no worries at all. Like your Max Homa, I think you said what, 400,000?
Yeah, 462,000.
And he wasn't even like close. Like no one was talking about him. Like they're like, well, what they said was, oh, he had like a good tournament, played good golf, but he was not really on the leaderboard or on like the coverage on the final day. And just cooking. So golf's got that bag. They historically have had it more organized than tennis, but it's kind of crazy how it's actually become less organized than tennis, I would say, because of that Saudi money coming in with the Live Tour, taking, in my opinion, making golf way worse, like taking half the top guys to the Live Tour, half the guys on the PGA Tour. So now the only golf I want to watch is the majors where everyone's playing together. and I would rather watch all the guys together like they were 3 years
Right.
ago every single week, which is what it used to be. So, yeah, interesting. Why do you think there's more money in golf?
Man, I mean, I think it has to be the opportunity for sponsorships because there's 18 holes, there's 18 tee boxes, and it's so I feel like that's already more than the amount of courts there are and everything else. And you see how they line those banners up, not really at the Masters, but at other golf tournaments, like the banners are filled with things, the big scoreboards are filled with stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like that, yeah. I mean, there just has to be more sponsorship money, and then, but I don't know the percentage they divvy out to the golfers, and I don't really know what they divvy out to tennis either.
Yeah, well, according to the PTPA, they divvy out more to the players in golf. But one of the theories that I've heard that of why golf has more money is because like so many CEOs and people in business love golf and they love to play, so they just like will almost sponsor these events, even if it doesn't even make sense. They just want to have like tickets to the event,
Right? It's
and
like
like they just want to be associated with the golf, like because everyone, like so many American bros are just and like CEOs are just like golf guys, and they're all just like, yeah, I'm sponsoring that. I want to sponsor that event, and they like drive the prices up for sponsorship because I want to be at the event and be writing it off.
What I wouldn't have been able to handle, this is kind of back to the prize money, but Ludwig Aberg, oh my gosh, man, tripling.
Oh yeah,
on 18. So he went from, because I think he would have finished second or third. Yeah, third.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, right. Definitely third. Yeah, or potentially better.
So, obviously he still got paid $703,000, but had he not tripled, he would have made 1.4 million.
He's deleted 700,000
US
US dollars.
Yeah, that'd be so sickening.
So when me and you triple like an average golf hole, at least we can be like, hey, I didn't lose 700K.
Right.
But then you can also think I also didn't win 700K after tripling a bogey.
Right.
Triple bogeying, and then we could feel sad.
Dude, and then I was thinking too, you know how the Masters, they do the Masters dinner?
Yeah.
Federer, Nadal, they've kind of ruined this, but I wish maybe they could do it at a Masters. There should be a championship dinner somewhere in tennis. It'd be it would be a small reservation. Maybe it'd be 4 people at the table because Federer and Nadal and Djokovic won the tournaments for 20 years.
Yeah.
But Rory McIlroy is the last person I would want choosing my dinner for the Masters dinner. That Irish palate is bland. But flip it to tennis. If they did do a champions dinner, which tennis player would you want to pick the dinner?
Oh man,
this is tough off the top.
Does it have to be a major winner?
Doesn't have to be a major winner. Any tennis player.
Yeah, well, I would think maybe Berrettini.
Yeah, Italian.
Anyone Italian, I would say put him out there. I mean, or someone like, to be honest, someone like, I was watching this UTS clip of these guys having a hangout.
Yeah.
Talking, and it was like David Goffin and I believe Richard Gasquet and someone else talking. Mm-hmm. They're like eating food, and I'm like, they're both speaking French to each other, and they're just like, it's like elite men. Like they're not getting stopped constantly in the street. They're just like I'm assuming they would know where to eat. They would know the good stuff. They've been living that jet setter life their entire life, like all the players have. But yeah, they'd probably know what's up.
Yeah, I would go with the Italians or the Greeks.
Yeah. Tsitsipas. Are you trusting?
Or like Taro Daniel, take some Japanese.
Hey, fair enough. I like that question. No, there's definitely some good food out there. I don't know if I'd trust Dennis.
No, this man's talking about his favorite meal ever is a
foie
burger.
gras.
Yeah.
You were like, that was actually so funny. He's like, I like foie gras. You're like, what now? You're like, what?
Foie who?
You're like
what is red that? Meat?
Like, what is that? No, that was funny. I would not trust him with that or with a drink, because I remember he was like, gin and tonic. He's like, I got a gin and tonic, and it's so gross. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, I love a gin and tonic. And it is. If you think that's gross, like what is good? Like
No, but I'm with him on that one. I don't like gin and tonic.
you're like, yeah, fair enough. Maybe I'm just a sicko, but like I don't know. Like, and that's I would say as far as cocktails go, a gin and tonic is pretty like standard.
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
definitely is. And
It's not like
I do think that that I'm in the minority of not liking it.
okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But like I get like a martini. I understand someone not liking. Like anyone who tells me they actually like a martini, I'm like, great. You're either a psychopath or an alcoholic or both.
Right. It's like
Just,
perfect. I can't trust you. So I'm glad that we have that
thank you.
established.
Especially if it's like a dirty martini with like the olive juice in there. It's like just see you later.
Right.
Anyways, should we get on to our I love these topics because they're just way more like out of left field than normal, which it just feels like the week for that. Should we get into saying hi to our YouTube commenters?
Let's do it.
Word.
Let's
so we got a good amount from I think April 9th. Yeah, that's last week. We got 31 comments.
31?
Yeah. Blast them out.
Pull up the video right now.
I think it's less than the last time.
It is for sure.
It's definitely less than the last time, but you might not our producer Jacob might not be able to put these ones up as well. We'll see how much time he has. He put up a few last time and a nice note for everyone, but I'll get us started off the top. At EPP Ace Epassel says, been a watcher of your channel for a while now, but when you added the Alex Eala hour, I'm subscribing. Filipino tennis fan here since Hingis lost the U.S. Open final to Graf.
Okay, been in it for a while, Epassel.
She's like, I've been watching you for a while, been waiting for the chance to subscribe, and this is it. Eala hour.
The next one, John Andre de Guia E9P. New subscriber here because of Alex Eala. I usually watch anything about basketball and boxing, but after Alex's historic Miami Open run, I added tennis to my sports list. Kudos to you both. Kudos to you, John, for being a new subscriber and stepping into the tennis world. This is the perfect channel for you. Your next step as a subscriber is to tell your best friend to also subscribe and get him on the tennis train.
We love it. At TJ143, I hope Alex stays healthy, continues to improve, and finds more success in her tennis career. Hear, hear. Cheers to that.
Hear, hear. Next one, SEPHJY1370. Really excited for Alex Eala. Also, really happy to see Brooksby having a great comeback. Us too. We need Brooksby to keep on winning, keep on putting on.
Mr. Buff Brooksby, JP with a great call on him coming back. Golfy says, excited to watch Eala hour. Excited to watch Alex Eala hour. It's amazing that we're getting people like tuning in for the segment. We love that.
It is amazing. The next one, Florante Villaruz, new subscriber from Modena, Italy, but Filipino. Go Alex Eala. Ti vogliamo molto bene, baci, baci, baci.
It says, that translated says, we love you very much. Kisses, kisses, kisses. Wow.
Oh, we love you too, Florante.
So baci. Okay, so baci means kisses.
Let's go, baci.
You can say that to Sitting tonight. You can try some new Italian on her.
Hey, we got that Italian demographic.
You're like, baci.
She'd be like, please stop, go to bed.
She's like, lights out, bye. At Nonsgi357, thanks for featuring Alex Eala. You're welcome.
Thank you for commenting. I also shout out to your profile picture. It could possibly be Luffy from some anime, but I cannot tell from
JP
One Piece.
would notice that.
Yeah, I gotta pay my respects. The next one, Rowan Madrilejo 5027, subscribed already to your channel due to my love for tennis. Thank you for that, Rowan. But now am anticipating every episode because of Alex Eala portion. Thanks. Vamos.
Let's go. We love more engagement and waiting for the next podcast to come out. We love that. Thank you, Rowan, for already subscribing as well. Next one is at Paulo Osorio 6562, watching from across the globe in the Philippines because of Alex Eala. Join the crowd. We love that.
That is sick. Next one, Mon Colomida 6616. I just subscribed because of Alex Eala, Filipino here in Singapore. I mean, real quick, how cool is this that people truly from across the world are watching the show?
Yeah, I mean,
That's wild.
it is always like a pinch me moment, and the fact that like half a dozen people already in these comments have subscribed just because Alex Eala, it shows the aura. Here's
Yeah.
another one at Victolentio. Because you're talking about Alex, I have subscribed to you. That's
Let's
what they said.
go.
Let's go. We love that. Thank you.
Next one, JB-XM8QI.
Yeah.
Hey, that's EI is what they typed in there. So I'm gonna say, hey, thanks for this. We are learning the nitty-gritty of tennis. Smiley face. Thanks to you, JB. We're
I love the
learning
idea
together.
of these guys are like, we've never even heard of tennis before, or we've never watched tennis, and now we're just here watching. This is fun.
Right.
Like, welcome to the party. You got lots to learn, and there's lots to get into, and tennis will make you go crazy more than you ever thought. At Juliet Faro 7063. Wow, Eala hour. That's awesome. With a heart, she says. Heart to you, Juliet.
Heart to you, Juliet. Next one, Paolo Ilosorio 6562. Watching from across the globe in the Philippines because of Alex Eala. Shout out to you across the globe, Paolo. We appreciate you.
I think we may have double tapped that one, but that's okay.
Sorry, Paolo.
No, you deserve that. We take that back, Paolo. No, this one's at Dick Castro M7M. I played tennis before as an exercise and watching tournaments, especially big events, and I will be watching this big event where our Alex Eala plays. I will be supporting our own player, Mabuhay Alex.
Let's go. Did we read Golfy or no? Just says new subscriber here.
Yeah, that's his second comment, I think. But yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Geo Air Travel. He goes, double clap. 2-week Masters is fine as long as the doubles are scheduled as of week 2 in order to give early exited players a chance to team up for doubles. Prince Carlitos for the clay season. Vamos.
Let's go.
That was Geo Air Travel continuing the streak, getting back on the train.
Love that, Geo. Shout out Geo always and forever. Next one, Lance Corporal 7605. New sub.
Whoa.
Short, sweet, boom. Efficient.
Short, sweet, boom. Doc, this one is Doc KM channel. As mentioned by Alex herself, there are also many great tennis talents in the Philippines. It's just that we have less opportunities in terms of competition opportunities, unlike basketball tournaments, which is honestly the more famous sport in the country. So sponsorship of league and games are frequent, but yeah, Alex is an eye opener, just like what Manny Pacquiao did with boxing, or Ulo for gymnastics. Wow.
Nice.
Didn't know about the gymnastics.
I'm going to group these two together because they play well with each other. This is from Victo Lentio 9412. Pronunciation of what we've been saying, Mabuhay. It looks like it's Mabuhi, means long live.
Okay. Long live.
And then Saf here commented, Mabuhi equals long live.
Okay. Perfect. Love that.
Love that. We're learning.
Arsone 7491 added tennis to my sports radar because of Alex. I'm on full support for her until she gets her goal. What is her goal? That's the question. What's her goal?
Great question. Stay tuned. Hopefully we will deliver you guys that goal. Yep. Next one. Yao got me. Alex Eala, heart emoji.
Love it. New subscriber Maverick 3161, new subscriber because of Alex Eala. However, boxing has been a Filipino sport since the 1930s. We've had world champions since then. Pancho Villa was our first world boxing champion, beating Jimmy Wild. Respect. Didn't know that.
Respect. Lane 777. He's a loyal commenter.
Yep. That's right.
I also think that Alcaraz plays his best tennis against the top players like Sinner because the match becomes much more complex and nuanced when both sides are using the entire court, pulling out every shot in the book. Vamos, Carlos, for Roland Garros.
Yeah, word. I feel like we didn't actually talk too much about his Monte Carlo run, but we did. But yeah, I agree with that, Lane. He does play his best against the best usually, like Djokovic or Sinner. So we will see. Where did we get? I think you said Filipinas, Kilayana Avid Rafa Nadal fan here, but I'm here because of Alex Eala.
We love that. We love
it.
Nadal as
Thanks
well.
for making that clear. We love that.
Gadget Impulse 3833 brought here via Alex. Don't plan on leaving.
Okay. What a gangster comment.
Let's go, Gadget.
Let's go, Gadget. Burn Tabs 84 says, great question here. What is the difference between WTA 1000, WTA 500, and WTA 125? If you're new here because you're new from Alex Eala or whatever, great question. Those are just the number in those. The WTA is just means it's a WTA event. Like there's a WTA 1000 or an ATP 1000. The number there shows how many points is available to the winner of that tournament. So the winner of a WTA 1000 gets 1,000 ranking points, and for a 500 they get 500 ranking points. And then if they come like second place, they get less points, and there's like a waterfall of points down from the first round, but that's what it means.
Boom. Great explanation, Steven. The next one, we're getting down to our last ones. We love this one. Andrew De La Pena, R9H, Eala, period. We love that. That's the comment we need.
Eala. I don't know if it says this on yours, but it says translate to English on mine. So I click that, and then it just says, come on.
Come on, yeah.
Is that what her name means?
If it is, that's epic, and she's going to win the most majors of anybody ever.
That is a perfectly reasonable prediction, if that is true. If Eala literally is, she's like, maybe her parents are like, we're going to name her Eala because it translates to come on, which is maybe the most common phrase in all of tennis.
Yeah. Come on.
Epic. At Sports Prediction TV 1290 says, we support Layla as well, but she's slumping for quite some time. I don't know if I agree with that. I wouldn't say being top 50 in the world consistently is slumping, but when you compare it to her being in the final of the US Open 2021, kind of know what you mean. But I think that was more of a highlight than more of like, she's not going to be number one in the world anytime soon. She's still young, but she does have a lot of similarities to Eala. Left-handed, uses the Babolat Pure Arrow, and went on a crazy run that got everyone in her country talking about it like we were in Canada.
Boom. Last one, I believe. High Rock Blink Monstees.
Yes.
You guys made great points, except no, basketball, billiards, and boxing were always big in the Philippines, even before Pacquiao rose to fame. Philippines have had other world champions before Pacquiao, but there was no social media back then. As Pacquiao rose to fame with the help of social media, it was a different time. Having one of the arguably the greatest pure boxer of our time out there in the same weight class, Floyd Mayweather, pound for pound, also put Pac and Mayweather in a class of their own. Anyways, in regards to tennis, you are completely right. If Eala can stay consistent, there is no doubt there will be a tennis boom in the Philippines. Before Eala turned pro, most Filipinos who are into tennis were supporting Leylah Fernandez, who is half Filipina, during that amazing U.S. Open run. Thank you, High Rock Blink Monstees, for the comment and for the education. We love learning about the Philippines.
Absolutely. I love picturing in the Philippines, these tiny islands. There's like a bunch of the, just wherever these people are, whatever they do in their life, being able to tune in, watch the tennis, watch the different sports. Sounds like a sports crazy nation, which we can respect coming from the U.S. and Canada. So we love that. Thank you guys for the love on the YouTube show. Stay tuned. Obviously, subscribe, hit the notification bell for next week's episode to pop out. Your comments on this one will be read then. And yeah, lots of great tennis in Stuttgart, Barcelona, Munich, Oeiras with Alex Eala. So we'll see what happens, and we'll recap it next week on the podcast. Anything else, JP?
Subscribe. See you next week.
See you next week.